Women in 2025 do not like high IQ men. The woman brain can compete with the male brute brain pretty easily. Depending on her skill, she can bob and weave and basically destroy this guy. His only tool is either breaking up or domestic abuse. Once you introduce the aristocratic male brain, things change. This guy can see the manipulation simulating in her head. He can literally see her dialogue. And so he just snipes that shit from a distance. The girls in 2025 hate this because you can't back up any of their talking points with logic. And that is why they have to resort to this. When this happens, the aristocratic male brain every now and then thinks, do I need to compromise just for the sake of the world spinning? Personally, I don't think you ever compromise because once you diverge from truth, you get into lies. This is what we have right now in 2025 is just a vast outnumbering. This is actually a decent battle right here, depending on the skill of the aristocrat.
All right, so Buddy has a point. Now, you know, there are some things that he was wrong about when he said that women don't like high IQ men. That is wrong. That is false. And he wasn't necessarily talking about high IQ. He said high IQ. He was talking about enlightened men. Basically, that has nothing to do with IQ. That just means they have access to the right information. IQ just means how quickly you can learn something. You can have a low IQ and still be very successful if you had access to the right information. Does that make sense? Like a low IQ guy can be a real estate investor or something like that and still end up becoming a millionaire over a high IQ guy who decided to be a fucking social worker or something like that. That doesn't mean that the high IQ guy is necessarily going to be more enlightened, right? That just means that when he does get access to information, he can learn it quicker than the low IQ guy. But if you don't have access to the right information, then you're cooked, basically. So he's talking about an enlightened guy. Women do like enlightened guys because they can't control the guy, but it does frustrate women because a lot of women, especially in today's world, they thrive off of control, whether you want to believe it or not, right? And the guy who's enlightened and who has access to the right information, or the guy who has access to my channel and he goes back out into the real world with the enlightened mindset, which means that he have access to the right information, he's going to start to see that the stuff that I'm saying is actually true. He's going to be like, damn, that is true. They really do actually want control. They want to control you. They want you on their program. But the guy that she's obsessed with is going to be the guy that she can't control. So that's the mind fuck that a lot of guys just don't understand. So they do like the enlightened guy, but they want to control him. And eventually the enlightened guy in most cases ends up leaving her. It's not usually the other way around. And sometimes she'll leave, but most of the times the enlightened guy will basically have left her in a way, right? Now she might make it official. Women are the ones that'll actually make it official because a lot of guys, they won't leave a girl that they're really rocking with, like physically, you know what I mean? But there will be signs to let her know that, hey, okay, like this shit is over. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So, another thing that he expressed in this video was the fact that when a woman runs across a guy who's enlightened, I'm not going to say high IQ because it doesn't matter about the IQ. It matters what information he has access to. When one woman can't handle this enlightened guy by herself, she's going to get a group of not only women, but feminine men to try to attack this guy as well. So she's going to get a group of women. They're all going to have the same talking points. They're all going to say the same things. Even if it's wrong, they're going to agree. And then they're going to get the majority of men actually fall into this category. I call it feminine men. He's just calling it the brute male brain, whatever the fuck he's calling it. I call these guys feminine, and I believe the majority of the population is filled with these guys. And when I say the majority, I'm talking like 80, probably 70 to 80% of men fall into this category where they struggle with women. So what they do is they change their dating strategy in order to hopefully be able to attract a woman, and then they fall into the woman's frame. That's a very high percentage of men. I know this to be true. I was just watching a clip of a comedian. They had a mic in his ear and he was at an all feminist event or something like that, and the ladies on the stage were feminist and the crowd was majority feminist, and there were guys in the crowd too. You get what I'm trying to say? And the guys would be holding hands with one of the girls in that crowd, and the guy was speaking facts, but the whole entire crowd still was against him. So for example, one of the things they brought up on that stage was there are very successful women out there, like Michelle Obama and this, and the dude was just like, okay, well, with the Michelle Obama thing, I'm not saying that she's not smart and she's not successful, but let's just be honest, she wouldn't be in the White House if it wasn't for her husband. Now, that is actually the truth. That is a true statement that he stated. But nobody in that crowd wanted to acknowledge that he was speaking the truth, including the men that were in that crowd, including the women that were on that stage. They gave him dirty looks. None of them clapped. None of them wanted to say anything. They couldn't say anything because it was actually the truth, but they gave him evil glares. They did all of these things because at the end of the day, you can't fight against the truth. But that's where the woman manipulation comes in. You're telling the truth. Now I'm going to shame you as a person. I'm going to make it seem like you're a bad person. Even though you stated a true statement. You're right. She wouldn't be in the White House if it wasn't for her husband. You're right. You probably wouldn't even know her if it wasn't for her husband. So, even though that's a true statement, these feminists can get a large group of people together to believe what they believe, even though it's false. That's how deep it is. So when you get the enlightened guy who's like, I'm going to choose the truth over the lies, because usually the guy that becomes enlightened, I'm going to be honest with you, usually the guy that becomes enlightened usually has his way with women, so he does not have to compromise by joining their team in order to get laid. That's usually what happens. The 80% of men that women aren't giving their pussies to regularly, those are the guys that have to join forces. I call these men feminine men, but whatever, you guys can call it. He called them brute men. I don't know what the fuck he was calling them. But I call them feminine men. You can call them whatever you want to call them. But 80% of these guys join the feminist fight in the movement because that is their strategy to get laid, because they don't get laid. Now, a guy who's having his way with women, he's going to be more likely to be enlightened because he does not have to pander to women in order to get laid. He does not have to join forces with them. He can actually state the truth and actually be enlightened because he knows how to get pussy consistently. And he understands that I don't have to pander to your lies and your bullshit in order to have a successful dating life, which in turn allows him to stay enlightened. Does that make sense? And when he's truly enlightened, like let's say somebody on my page, they're going to realize that, damn, I get the most out of the woman who can't control me. If you ever want to see a woman lose attraction for you, allow her to basically be able to control everything about your life, your schedule, and how you think. If she can control everything about how you think, your life, your schedule, she tell you to jump, you say how high, she will automatically lose arousal and attraction for you almost simultaneously. You can see it in real time. Doesn't mean she'll leave the relationship right away, but she won't like you. Just like when I was watching that thing that I just told you about, where the guy was basically calling out feminists in front of a feminist crowd, I guarantee you most of those women that were there with men holding their hands, they don't like that guy that they're holding hands with. Because he's a feminist just like them. He's a pussy. You get what I'm trying to say? She's with him. She won't leave him because she couldn't lock down the guy she truly wanted, the enlightened man, or the guy. Sometimes, this is crazy too. Sometimes the guy who's having his way with women isn't enlightened at all. He's just dumb as fuck. He's too dumb for his own good. You ever see like the Chads who can't really talk proper English and they yeah, and they get all the pussy? Sometimes the guy is so dumb that her manipulation doesn't work on him because he doesn't know what the fuck is going on half the time. He's either too drunk or too high or too mentally slow to even, her games won't work on him regardless. He doesn't know the right thing to do. He's just being a brute man living his life, and he not so dumb where he don't know common sense. But like when his bitch is bitching, he's just like, oh fuck, bro, the fuck, you give me a headache, Sarah. I'm just gonna fucking go play video games. She loves that guy too, because her manipulation doesn't work on him either. You feel me? You can be really dumb and a girl can really like you too. You can be super dumb and super out of it and halfway junkie, broke as fuck, couch searching, still have your way with women because her manipulation won't work on you either. And you naturally lead things forward because you just are the brute version of the man. You're just a fucking man's man. You know you want the pussy. So you gonna try to get the pussy. And if she don't give you the pussy, you gonna get the pussy from somewhere. And this is the fucking guy, Chad, whatever the fuck they want to call it, where this guy just too dumb for his own good. She's not fucking. Oh, you not fucking? Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna call fucking Rebecca. She's fucking. She sucks me real good. What the fuck? What the fuck? You gonna call another bitch? Bro, chill. You're not doing shit. What the fuck? They got those guys too. And those guys is more gangster than than these feminine guys. That's a shame. A guy that's dumber than you, less money than you, all that stuff. Now, one of the things some of these dumb guys have, they do be having muscle. But that doesn't take much smarts to have muscles. You get what I'm trying to say? That doesn't take a lot of intelligence to have muscles. Move heavy shit. You know what I mean? And eat a somewhat wholesome diet. You will have muscles. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Some of you guys might be too smart for your own good. Some of you guys might even be too smart for your own good. And I'm talking about IQ. I'm not talking about enlightenment. That's two different things. IQ is, you know what I mean? IQ means you can figure stuff out very quickly. But for some fucking reason, there are a lot of high IQ guys that are part of the 80% feminine guys. Because they decided to use their brain power to figure out business and making money and this and blah, 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 blah. And the high IQ guys are actually doomed. The ones that aren't enlightened are actually more likely to be feminine guys because a lot of the high IQ guys have had access to the wrong information, and because they can figure stuff out quickly, they believe it. They believe the wrong information. Happy wife, happy life, put her on a pedestal, you know, make sure she's straight, make sure she's happy, make sure she's comfortable, make sure she likes everything about you, make sure you get her flowers. A high IQ guy is getting that information. It's like, well, I'm getting it from a very reputable source. It must be true. I have to follow it. You know what I mean? Even though that high IQ guy is not having his way with women, a broken clock is right twice a day. That means every blue moon he'll have his way with women, and he'll just believe that's just how it goes because he'll talk to other guys that are like him who believe the mainstream media, and they get the same results as him. You know, one girl every 2 to 3 years. Okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yep, Jeffrey, his results are similar to mine. Jimmy, his results are similar to mine. Tyler, his results are... So that must mean I'm doing something right. We all get about, you know, one girl every 4 to 5 years, or 2 to 3 years, or one girl, 2 girls every year. That must mean it's right, it's working. Meanwhile, they don't even know the guy that's out here having his way with women. They don't even know that he's getting it weekly. They don't even understand that that's a possibility. That he's getting access to women, like cooking, cleaning, sucking, fucking, everything, weekly. They don't even know that that is a possibility. They don't even know that that is a possibility. First of all, those guys don't click 9 times out of 10. An enlightened guy really can't click well with a guy that's not enlightened. Their conversations are so different that it doesn't even match. It just doesn't even, you know what I mean? Y'all can't even be open, honest, whatever with each other. Because you guys are in 2 different worlds. You get what I'm trying to say? And if you think I'm lying, try to have these type of conversations with your beta ass, feminine ass homeboy. He will think you're fucking psycho. He will think that you hate women. He will think that, no, motherfucker, I actually love them. That's why I'm trying to study them so I can get more consistent with them. If I hated them, I wouldn't even be looking for these channels in the first place. Does that make sense? So, the guy, he was on to something. He was on to something. Obviously, I poked a lot of holes in his argument. But, you know, me being a guy that's in the field and understanding the bigger picture, the premise is right. Does that make sense? The main thing that he was trying to go after, that is the part that's correct. The way he breaks it down is the average woman can run laps around the average man. But the guy who's enlightened, it's the guy that she can't resist, but she also like hates him at the same time. But you gotta understand, you only can hate who you love. You get what I'm trying to say? She hates that. She hates herself for liking him. She hates that guy turns her on. And I'm also telling you, the enlightened guy can have his way with women, but not initially. Sometimes initially, the enlightened guy sometimes can become worse. Sometimes you can understand female nature, and initially you can become worse because there's going to be a lot of anger and resentment there. Once you get rid of the anger and resentment and you stop taking the shit they say personal and you stop hating women, like, bro, a woman can't tell me nothing for me to hate her. Like, a woman can be like, I fuck this guy, I fucking suck this guy's dick, and I'm like, I don't hate her for that. Like, she's just a fucking woman. Like, this is what women do. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? I'm an enlightened guy who understands that. Now, there is a guy, I was going to show his video, but it's too messed up. But the story was very simple. There was a guy who had 3 kids with a woman and found out that all 3 of the kids were not his. He was a black guy with a black woman. And he chased her to her job and shot her several times in front of her coworkers. He's in jail. She managed to survive, so he didn't hit any major arteries or nothing like that. She made it to the hospital. She survived. But that guy, he's not enlightened. See, he was, and these kids were older, so he was raising these kids for a very long period of time, because even though he was black and people will assume he was masculine and all that stuff like that, and he had tattoos, he looked like a masculine guy. When it came to women, he was very not enlightened, not knowing that his woman was actually cheating on him, had 3 kids from different men, and some of those men were his family relatives. They didn't say who. They didn't say if it was his father or his brother or his cousin or whatever the case is, but those men were his family relatives, meaning that she probably liked him. She probably liked him physically, but when she got to know him, she hated how he acted, and maybe somebody in his family, which looked similar to him, acted a little bit more masculine, and she was letting that guy nut in her a lot. Because in order for there to be 3 kids to come out of it, that must mean he must have, every time he met this bitch, he was fucking her. That doesn't mean she got pregnant every time that he fucked her, or whoever this guy was, relative of his. That doesn't mean she got pregnant every time, but he must have been fucking the shit out of her. She must have been calling this guy. Every time this feminine ass nigga pissed her the fuck off, she must have been calling this guy every fucking time. And that's what happens when girls are obsessed over a guy. They can't keep their hands off of that guy. And even if she likes you physically, but when she gets to know you and she finds out that you're like the majority of these feminine ass men, you're part of the 80%, her arousal drops significantly. She really wants to cheat really bad. But she knows that you're so dumb that if she gets caught cheating by you, you might try to kill her because you're not enlightened. See, a guy like me, I find out that a bitch is cheat. First of all, I don't even think it will get that far. I can pick up on the signs where I'm gonna have 3 kids with a bitch that I don't even think the kids are mine. Like, enlightened guy won't even allow it to get that far and to begin with. But a guy who's not enlightened, he does not understand none of it. You know what I mean? Everything that she says, he believes it word for word. Everything that she says, she puts a sweet voice on it, it's over. Women privilege is real. There was a little ex-porn star I was messing with. I didn't know she was a porn star at the time. She looked like an innocent white girl. She was supposed to have 5 DUIs. She only ended up with 1. She was a raging alcoholic. She only ended up with 1. And the one time, because what would happen was a cop would pull over. He'll see an innocent white girl, and then he wouldn't even do the DUI. He wouldn't give her a ticket, and he wouldn't continue his job. He'll be like, "Oh, just let me help you get home. You know, you were swerving a little bit, but I'm just gonna help you get home." And she'll put on her little innocent face, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just not new to the area." She'll put on her little white girl little voice, and the cop will either drive her home or let her go without a ticket. The 5th cop, she called this guy a dick because he actually did his job. He said, "Hey, get out of the car, do the sobriety test," and then found out she did the blower. She found out she was drunk, took her little ass to jail, and then, you know what I mean, that was her first DUI. Now, she was able to get out of those first 4 because she had what you call pretty white girl privilege. Now, I have a homeboy who was a top salesman at the first car dealership that I went at. He had 5 DUIs, and he was never able to get out of any of his DUIs because he was a black man. Even though he was successful, he had a bunch of charisma, he had a good smile, he sold 64 and a half cars in 1 month. The motherfucker was really talented, but he had a drinking problem. he had 5 DUIs because every time he got pulled over and some liquor was smelt, he had to get the fuck out of the car and do a breathalyzer because he's a black man. So you have to understand that women have fucking, and he had 2 things working against him, black and a man. You get what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? He had 2 things working against him. Damn, you black and you a man? Shit. You really gonna get the fuck out of this car and do this DUI test because there's no love in it for you. You get what I'm trying to say? So women privilege does exist, and a lot of women go their whole life with this privilege. And whether you believe it or not, they know that they have this privilege, and they exploit the system because they know that the system's going to be a little bit more naturally weaker or softer towards them because they are female. So the majority of men, they know that they can run circles around. But the man that they're going to really be obsessed with and respect is the guy that she can't run circles around. So I hope this video really jumped into your psyche, really helped you understand female nature on a deeper level. Now on the opposite side of that, I will end it there. You also can be just so dumb that women's fucking manipulation techniques don't work just because you're just dumb as fuck. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there is an opposite side of that where you can be just so fucking stupid. Like, the media can't get in your head, nothing can get in your head. You just literally act on your impulses, and you can be good. That guy can be really good with women as well because he's not going to put up with bullshit, and he's not going to fall for the manipulation techniques because he's just too dumb for it to work on him. This is why you will have the junkie or the guy that's always high or the guy that's always drunk does really well with women too, because his brain is too fucking dumb for the woman's manipulation techniques to work on him, and in turn she's gonna love him because she can't control him even though she wants to control him. I know it sounds very backwards, I get it. Women nature sounds confusing because you guys are trying to think of it from a logical standpoint. There isn't really a lot of logic behind women's brains. Is basically off of how they feel all the time. 80% of their brains is how I feel. Very little logic. So when you try to bring your logical ass brain to her what I feel brain, it doesn't work. The best thing to do is be a gangster and just follow the process with every single chick, no matter what. Don't get scared. Don't get nervous. Don't fall into her manipulation techniques. Don't fall into the way she looks at you and gives you the scrunched up face and all this stuff. And don't believe her words, the majority of them. Just be a man. Be solid. Stick to your guns. Keep shit moving forward. You're going to find yourself consistently having more sexual interactions, more girls obsessed with you, than the guy who actually uses his brain too much and tries to logic every fucking thing and just try to make sense of everything. Well, she said this, so I didn't do this, and she said this, so I didn't. Yeah, bro. You know how many girls told me that? Okay, I'm gonna walk you to your house, but nothing gonna happen. And then 5 minutes later, I'm getting top. Like, I wish I could fucking. Sometimes I wish a camera was fucking on me from the clouds. Nothing's gonna happen. Glonk, glonk, glonk. Yeah, nothing happening. Glonk, glonk. Nothing's fucking happening. I'm just getting my soul snatched right now. You know what I mean? She's sucking this thing like she's trying to suck a golf ball through a straw. You get what I'm trying to say? Like she's sucking the chrome off a trailer hitch. Like she's sucking peanut butter through a straw. You get where I'm coming from? So I'm going to end it there. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share this with somebody who needs to hear this, subscribe to the channel, and join the CLG community. It is only $48 a month, $3.99 for the year, so you get a discount if you do the yearly, and which that comes out to $33 a month. And link is in the comments, link is in the description, and I hope to see you guys in so I can help you become elite sooner rather than later. And you have a group of masculine men that are going to help you get the outcomes that you desire. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.